The significance of the Power of Siberia 2 deal for Russia and China. In a remarkable turn of events, Moscow and Beijing have finally sealed the long-awaited deal to construct the Power of Siberia 2, a pipeline that has faced numerous delays. This major infrastructure project aims to channel Russian natural gas directly to China, and if it comes to fruition, it will serve as a vital buffer for China against geopolitical uncertainties, while providing Russia with a much-needed market for its gas exports, following the withdrawal of Western buyers due to the Ukraine conflict. What we know so far. On Tuesday, Gazprom's chief executive, Alexei Miller, announced that his company has officially signed a legally binding Memorandum of Understanding with China's CNPC regarding the construction of the Power of Siberia 2 pipeline. This project has been in the pipeline, pun intended, since 2020, and intends to transport gas from the substantial reserves in western Siberia, crossing Mongolia, all the way to China. This announcement marks a significant diplomatic triumph for the Kremlin, highlighting the growing commitment between Russia and China to strengthen their economic ties, especially amidst stagnant trade relations and previous disputes over the pipeline's conditions. Miller proudly stated, "The construction of the Power of Siberia 2 gas pipeline, the Soyuz Vostok transit pipeline through Mongolia, and associated gas transportation infrastructure in China will result in the largest, most extensive, and most capital-intensive project within the global gas sector." With this new pipeline, Russia's gas export capacity will increase dramatically by an additional 50 billion cubic meters annually, complementing the existing 38 billion cubic meters being transported through the original Power of Siberia pipeline, which routes gas from eastern Siberia. Gazprom anticipates that it can supply gas through this new route for an impressive span of up to 30 years. What remains uncertain? However, it's essential to recognize that despite the apparent progress, several significant uncertainties hover over this initiative. For starters, the definitive contracts for the pipeline are not yet finalized. One key question is whether China will agree to a commitment for fixed gas volumes or prefer a more flexible approach to deliveries. Moreover, Gazprom has not revealed the price details for the gas supplies, stating only that it will offer rates below those currently charged to European buyers. Another looming question is the construction schedule and overall costs, which are still shrouded in ambiguity. Current estimations for the pipeline's total cost range widely from approximately $13.6 billion to upwards of $34 billion. According to Alexei Maslov, an analyst focusing on China and a specialist at Vedomosti, Russia is likely to take on the financial burden of the domestic segment of the pipeline, while China is expected to finance its part. However, reports from the Kommersant Business Journal indicate that the financing details from China remain unclear, complicating the project's financial framework. Alexei Gromov, a prominent energy director at the Institute for Energy and Finance, has suggested that a formal contract for the Power of Siberia 2 could materialize later in 2025. He pointed out that China would likely advocate for pricing that aligns with Russia's domestic rates, which hover around 120 to 130 per 1,000 cubic meters. In contrast, Russia is aiming for pricing structures akin to those of the original Power of Siberia pipeline, which are indexed to the Asian oil product market, valued between $265 and $285. President Vladimir Putin weighed in on the pricing strategy for the new pipeline on Wednesday. He asserted that the cost of gas provided through the Power of Siberia 2 would follow market principles and be established according to a specific formula. Although he didn't elaborate on what that formula entails. As for when we can expect construction to commence, Gromov suggested an estimated timeline of about 3 years for the Russian component, while details surrounding the Chinese section of the pipeline remain unclear. Benefits for each party. For Russia, significantly boosting its gas export capabilities to China is crucial for alleviating the dramatic decline in gas sales to Europe. These exports plummeted from 157 billion cubic meters in 2021 to a projected 39 billion cubic meters by 2025. This fall-off is largely due to European nations ceasing purchases of Russian gas, resulting in a 3.2% year-on-year drop in Russia's natural gas production, which clocked in at 334.8 billion cubic meters in the first half of 2025, following the cessation of gas transit through Ukraine. Energy analyst Sergei Vakulenko has estimated that Power of Siberia 2 could generate annual rental income ranging between $2.5 billion and $4.3 billion for Russia. Although still shy of the staggering $20 billion per year that Russia used to earn from the European gas trade, it represents an important financial lifeline. On the flip side, for China, increased gas imports from Russia can serve as a critical safeguard against potential supply disruptions that may arise from geopolitical instability in the Middle East or heightened tensions with Western nations. Notably, in the first 7 months of 2025, the leading gas suppliers to China in terms of dollar value included Russia, Qatar, Australia, and the U.S., showcasing a competitive energy market landscape. But here's where it becomes contentious. Are the benefits of this agreement enough to outweigh the potential geopolitical risks and economic uncertainties entangled in such a massive project? We invite you to share your thoughts. Do you think this partnership will turn out to be a strategic triumph? Or do you see potential pitfalls on the horizon? Let us know in the comments.